Alright guys, today I'm going to talk about the nutrition part of fat loss or weight loss, or fat loss the way I like to phrase it, and muscle building. So nutrition is an extremely important part of how we look, how we feel, and how we improve our physique. So those of you guys who know, I do a lot of strength training, body transformation types of workouts, belly fat loss, glute workouts, but there is a nutrition component to all the people that I've helped that have transformed their body, and I'm going to share a few of those tips for you. The first thing I want you guys to do, if your goal is to actually lose belly fat, if you want to actually become a smaller version and you don't care about having biceps and chest and this and that, you care about being a leaner, a little bit toned, but at the same time your general goal, your emphasis is actually weight loss, and i.e. meaning fat loss. First principle that we use in nutrition fat loss is that we wake up first thing in the morning, whatever it is, whether let's say you're waking up at 6 a.m., you're a 9 to 5 kind of guy or a kind of girl, what we do is we hydrate ourselves. So I take size like this, it's got some chlorophyll in it, and we do 3 of those for any beginner level belly fat loss nutrition program. What that does is it actually fills your belly and sends a signal to your brain that you're not hungry. The second thing is that when water touches your organs after a night of fasting, because remember, before break fast, you're still fasting, everything is clean, your body has repaired itself, it's processed itself while you're going to bed, the water will wash your organs. And the cleaner the body, the better it will function. The cleaner the body, the better you'll feel. The cleaner the body, the more weight loss and toxins you'll flush out. So that's the first thing we do. Then we wait 2 hours post their normal breakfast time. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you're someone that has your first meal, let's call it breakfast, at 8 a.m. or 7:30 or 8:30, right? So when someone comes to me for belly fat loss, I shift it back 2 hours. So let's say it's 7:30, the regular time. I move it back to 9:30 a.m. What I'm doing for them is actually resetting their body to not rely on carbs or protein or first meal. I'm basically getting them to start doing something called intermittent fasting. What that really means is elongating the window of non-feeding. Then the first meal that they put into their body at 9:30 or 10, whether it's 2.5 hour window, is protein and fat based. So protein, an example of protein would be egg whites or a couple of whole eggs, mixed with a side of avocado, a smaller portion, some olive oil, put in some onions, put in some spinach, put in a few mushrooms here and there, black pepper, sea salt, make it all tasty. And I give them that. And then I get them to once again drink one of these every hour. And what I'm doing is I'm actually making sure that the brain does not get a signal that they're hungry because simply they're dehydrated. Remember that sometimes when your brain says you're hungry, or your body says you're hungry, it means that your brain is saying there isn't enough hydration in your body. So you kind of want to make sure, are you really hungry and starved for nutrition, or are you actually dehydrated? Do you get me? Okay, second thing we do for nutrition fat loss is we shave off another 3 hours of non-feeding window before they go to bed. So let's say you're going to bed by 10:30 p.m. or 11 at the latest. Sometimes we have clients that go to bed by 12 and we're trying to get them to sleep a little bit longer. So let's say 10:30 p.m. is your bedtime. So no meals after 7:30 p.m. So now you've got a window. You've got 9:30 till 7:30. That's your window of feeding, right? And then you've got from 7:30 p.m. to 9:30. So 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. That's called non-feeding window. So 7:30 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. that's 12 hours, and then tack on another 2 hours. That's 14 to 14 and a half hours of non-feeding. And what we're trying to do is get their body to readapt to not constantly craving carbs, not constantly craving sugars, not constantly craving food. And like I said before, if you're starved for nutrition, you will know that your body's starved for nutrition. This is just to reset your lifestyle habits. A lot of us eat when we're bored. A lot of us eat for entertainment purposes. So we're trying to change that habit slowly over this 30-day fat loss nutrition program. The next thing we do is we take away all the sugars and we take away all the carbs, the white carbs in particular. So for example, the white rices, the white pasta, the white bread, we take away all that and we replace it with the whole grains, the whole body format like brown rices. We particularly don't do bread, but if someone is addicted to bread, we give them a little bit of an allowance per se, because you have to actually treat your nutrition like an allowance. I mean, you can't be going out and eating 4 or 5 slices of bread when you have to lose belly fat or you're trying to get gains, you know? So it is hard. Nutrition is extremely challenging for people like me. I'm going to be transparent here. I've done intermittent fasting for several years now, and I've fluctuated. I've gone very buff. I've gone on the leaner side. Right now I'm trying to get on the leaner, more shredded side and still building muscle. So it's a more challenging journey for people like us who don't actually have a challenge of working out. I actually enjoy working out. I feel therapeutic for my brain and for my soul and for my body. I feel good. I feel a pump. But when it comes to nutrition, I do have my challenges. So I've cut out the breads, the whites, the pastas, the rices, Monday through Saturday. That's what we do for our clients. And then what we replace that with is the whole grains. And then we increase their fiber intake, a ton of vegetables. So what we do is we take an example, a bowl of broccoli squirted with lemon, a little bit of black pepper, a little bit of salt, sea salt, a little bit of olive oil, mix it up nice and moist and everything. And we give them this recipe where they can have this broccoli twice a day with 2 of their meals. And between the windows of eating, the feeding window, which is from 9:30 a.m. till 7:30 p.m. And as you guys know, fiber expands in your abdomen, in your intestinal unit. So when the fiber expands, your stomach expands, and that sends a signal to your brain that you're actually getting fuller. You're getting fuller. And on top of that, assuming you guys know that we put them on a muscle building program. So muscle, as you know, we've done a video before, it actually increases the metabolic rate by twice as amount. So an example in that other video that we did, and I'll put a link to this, is a pound of fat burns 2 to 3, maybe 4 calories. A pound of muscle burns 4 to 8 calories. So it's twice as much. So right now when I'm sitting and typing and making a video or responding to emails for our clients at Own Your Fitness here, I'm burning twice as much because I did my strength training, muscle building workout today. And the same thing goes for the females that we've trained. They burn a lot more. Now what we do for the guys and for the females who actually want to tone up and tighten the waist and lift their glutes and get, like, you know, those sexy thigh muscles and quads going, and they want to build a little bit more, we increase their protein intake within that window, which is the 9:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. And the protein is thermogenic. What that means is that actually increases the body temperature of your body. And some foods and proteins and in veggies, as you guys know, it takes more calories to burn than what the value of the food is. So an example would be celery. Everyone says celery is negative calorie. Now look it up on Google and do your research. How many calories are you burning while you're eating celery? How many calories are you burning if you're someone that's a meat eater, poultry, salmon, you know, whatever it is? How many calories are you burning if you're a vegan and you don't eat that, but you eat lentils? So protein is thermogenic. Fiber expands in your system, and water takes away the false signal that your brain sends to your body that you're hungry when you're actually dehydrated. Tap that with muscle building, tap that with strength training 3 times a week, and that's our formula to transform anyone, like a bride. a postnatal woman, someone who wants to tone up and shape up their body and take the waist, and someone who's a man who's holding fat here because his hormones are out of whack, and he's holding fats here and he's letting go of his glutes. So you really have to understand it's really 4 or 5 basic lifestyle changes, behavioral changes that we do, and we do it over 4 to 6 weeks. For a beginner, for an advanced person, we do it between 6 to 8 weeks because it takes more to go from here to here. But an example would be like someone who's a beginner will get better and faster newbie gains. Someone who's been working out for longer and dieting longer, it'll take a little bit more harder work, and that's just science. But nonetheless, your body can change within 4 weeks. Okay, and I'm talking like noticeably. If you really want to feel the changes and feel tightening up and feel a little bit flatter, you'll start noticing it in 2 weeks. So there you have it in a nutshell, what we do. If you guys have any questions, drop a comment, drop me a question. I'm trying to do my best to get back to everyone, to respond, to put as much information out there for you guys. Most of all, please stay healthy, please be positive. It is important that we maintain our internal resiliency, our emotional stability, our mental stability when outside it's chaotic, and that's something that I'm truly a believer in. We are responsible for how we control our internal being. We are accountable for our lifestyle and our choices. It's a little bit of life coaching for you. Any questions? Drop me a note. Love to hear from you guys. Stay strong.